Okay, when we last left off, we were here, and the whole idea is to populate this drop-down list or combo box, but this should be populated right away so we have access to it. So we have to do this as the page is getting initialized, not when we click on the search button and then it shows up. So how do we do that? So right here what do I have an array? I'm going to say here, I'm going to say Control-Shift-O for a second to get rid of all of those warnings. I will say here implements, and it begins with INI, and we're looking for initialize, and of course I'm going to look for the one that has to deal with Java XML, and this is basically the event that's going to be associated when the page gets loaded. Not the page, I should say, the screen. Let's move the mouse over this, add unimplemented method. So this method represents what happens when the page gets loaded. Now we've seen this code in a previous example. This is the code that I'm going to use to actually run to the database, then call the distinct DAO, let's do a system out print line just to see if it works. System out print line. This is complaining because I need to import it because it belongs in a different package. Save it. Let's just run it just to see what happens. Okay, and notice that it's getting executed right away. So we didn't have to press a button, so that code got executed. Now, of course, we want to populate this data item right here. But let's just to make sure, understand the concept, what's going to happen. At runtime, we're going to do CB grade get items. This gets us the items that we need access to, and that has a method called add all. And I think we can do something like, let's see here, let's type in an A, let's type in a B, and let's type in a C. Okay, let's run it just to see what happens again. And if I click on the drop down, there goes my A, there goes my B, there goes my C. Okay, so it is populated. We can get it populated right away. And let's see, let's do one more thing. I'm going to say here CB grade. Let's set value to the letter A. Let's run it again just to see what happens. And I want the default to be like an A or a B or a C. That way the user doesn't come here and it's completely blank. So this is the way that we can set that up so it works really well for us. Okay, so that's what's happening here. Okay, now let's see if we set it with a value called D. Let's see what happens. Let's run it. And there goes D, A. So that seemed to work. Didn't work correctly the way I wanted it to work, but the whole idea is that you can populate this with data now. Now our goal is to populate with the data that we have here and place it inside of the drop down. Okay, so that's what we'll do in the next video.